channel. My name is Faith and I'm here today with another meal prep video. I just had another baby 2 weeks ago. Now I have 2 little ones, and meal prep is so important for me, especially now because I'm so hungry as I nurse this little guy. I just am like constantly going to the fridge for food, so I want to have healthy stuff prepped that I can mix and match for easy recipes or just have for snacks on hand. So I'm thinking today this video I'll call Meal Prep for Dummies. Not that I believe people are dummies, but basically these recipes, if you can even call them that, are so easy, anyone can make them. I'll basically just be showing you how I prep some simple whole food ingredients that, yeah, you can eat throughout the week. So if you're new to a plant-based diet or new to meal prepping, this is a perfect place to start. Everything is really easy, anyone could do it. So let me show you what I'm gonna prep this week. I'm hoping I can get it done in about an hour because that's about all the time I have before some little human needs me. So let's jump into it. Okay, to start, like most of my meal prep videos, I'm gonna roast some veggies. I just find they are so versatile and I love having already cooked veggies on hand. So I just used whatever I had in my fridge. I had some broccoli, carrots, and cauliflower, and I love to put a little bowl by wherever I'm cutting so I can put the scraps or the stems that I don't want to use in that bowl. It just makes for easy cleanup. So I'm putting some of the cut up veggies in my colander just to rinse before I cook them. But yeah, just chopping everything up into about the same size pieces and then either placing them in the colander if they need to be washed or straight onto my baking sheet. So I rinsed off the cauliflower and broccoli because there's always little grubbies in my veggies. So yeah, placed all the veggies on a large baking sheet and just drizzled over some olive oil. I used about 2 capfuls for this big tray in case you're wondering, and just moved the veggies so the olive oil coated all the pieces. And then I'm obsessed with garlic salt. I put it on everything right now. So yeah, sprinkled that on top and then roasted everything at about 400 degrees for maybe 20-25 minutes or until soft. So for breakfast, I'm prepping some steel cut oats. I love steel cut oats, and now that I know how to cook them quickly in my pressure cooker, I make them all the time. So I've got 2 cups of steel cut oats in there, and then I'm putting in 5 cups of water and a pinch of salt. And if you don't have a pressure cooker, don't worry, I'll share down below how you can make steel cut oats just on the stovetop. It's really easy. If you do have a pressure cooker, just put on the top, make sure it's on sealing, put the setting to manual, and cook them for 4 minutes. And then while that's cooking and the veggies are roasting, I'm just putting some rice in my rice cooker. Again, I'll leave how you can cook rice on the stovetop if you don't have a rice cooker. But yeah, I'm doing 2 cups of brown rice to 4 cups of water and basically just put the lid on and push the button down. I highly suggest investing in some kitchen appliances if you want to meal prep and just eat healthier. But for some protein, I am literally just using canned beans, draining and rinsing them, and I'm gonna just store them in a container. It's just really nice to have them already ready. And it's basically, yeah, anyone can open a can of beans and rinse them. So hopefully this is just a helpful tip just to remind you that you don't have to go all fancy, just open some beans. And then for a dressing, I'm making a quick satay sauce. You could use any kind of nut butter. I love this sauce with tahini, almond butter. I just find peanut butter is cheap and yeah, just easy to find and affordable. So I've got some peanut butter, soy sauce, maple syrup, rice vinegar, and then I'm adding some garlic powder and ginger. Obviously, if you have more time on your hands, you can use fresh ginger and fresh garlic, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. And I've made this kind of sauce so many times that I just eyeball everything, but I'll leave the measurements down below for the perfect ratio. So it's really thick when you first start to stir it, so you'll need to add some water until it's just a nice consistency, and every time you use it you may need to add water as it will thicken in the fridge. So I just tasted it and then added whatever I felt like it needed and put the lid on and put it in the fridge. For a snack, I made some granola bars that I ended up rolling into Energy Bites, but they are just a base of oats, seeds, and nuts, and then some coconut chips. I randomly had these in my pantry, but you could just use shredded coconut, whatever you want. These were really big pieces, so I just broke them up with my finger, added some salt, and stirred this all together. And then I poured in a lot of tahini, which if you don't like tahini, this is a great place to start because it's mixed with a lot of sweetener and other yummy things. So you could use a rice syrup or honey or yeah, just some kind of thicker, sticky sweetener is best for this. So just stir it all together, and then you're going to dump this into a baking dish that's been lined, or what I did is just put some baking paper on a cutting board and just piled everything on top of the board. And then the best way to form this into a rectangle is to use damp hands because the mixture will be really sticky. So just wet your hands and continue to wet them as you need to, but just press it down into a large rectangle that you can later cut into bars. But first stick it in the fridge or freezer to solidify and just stick together. My tahini this time was really sticky, so that's why I ended up rolling into balls, but you'll see that later. Lastly, I just cut up some watermelon. My daughter is obsessed with watermelon, so am I. I'm even putting some in her bowl right now, and I just love not having to cut it every morning. So just taking 5 minutes at the start of the week to cut up your favorite fruit or to make sure it's on hand will save you some time during the week. So yeah, cutting it into large chunks and storing it in a container just made my mornings run a little more smoothly. So by this point, all of your other items should be ready. For the steel cut oats, they cook for 4 minutes and then you can let it release the pressure naturally for about 20 minutes before you release the steam and open the top. And as you can see, the oatmeal in the water separates a little, but just stir it and it becomes the perfect consistency. Again, I'll share how to cook the steel cut oats on the stovetop down below. So don't worry if you don't have a pressure cooker, there are lots of other easy ways to cook your oats. So once it's cooled, I just store them in a container. Moved on to the brown rice, which had finished by this point as well. Just perfectly cooked. I love having a rice cooker. I think this cost me 10 bucks, so definitely consider investing in a rice cooker or pressure cooker. Having good appliances in your kitchen will make eating a plant-based diet so much easier. So yeah, once the rice has cooled, I store it in a container, and at this point you're done with your meal prep. It really did take me about an hour, so I had roasted veggies. Really use whatever you have on hand. You could even do more starchy things like sweet potatoes. But yeah, this was a good combo. And then you've got your steel cut oats that you can reheat every morning with different spices and toppings. Brown rice is a great base for Buddha bowls, burritos. And then you've got your sauce that tastes good on the rice and the veggies and the chickpeas. Hearty snacks with the tahini, honey, or rice syrup granola bars. Beans already ready to go, and refreshing fruit of choice. Like I mentioned previously, I ended up rolling my granola bars into balls. Just my tahini was runnier and so they were pretty sticky, so this just worked better, and these are delicious. So for a main meal, you can do brown rice, roasted veggies, chickpeas, and the peanut sauce. You could even cook some soba noodles and mix all this together for peanut noodles, or wrap it in a burrito with some lettuce and fresh tomato. Yeah, just kind of mix it up throughout the week, but this was a delicious hearty meal. And then for the oats, I just add a little almond milk to them in the morning to loosen them up, and then whatever fruit I was feeling. So this day was frozen berries, and I just stirred them in and then popped this in the microwave, or you can heat it in the stove with a little almond milk. Yeah, until it was warm, and then of course I added some nut butter. So this was kind of like a peanut butter and jelly bowl of oats. It was delicious. And then for snacks, I just reached for watermelon or these tahini granola bites. My week was so much easier because I didn't have to think about cooking, just because I prepared some basic ingredients at the start of the week. So I really hope this meal prep video gave you some simple ideas to try this week. Basically just showing you guys how to cook some staple whole food ingredients that you can mix and match throughout the week. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and want to see more meal prep videos. Subscribe so you don't miss anything, and comment below if you have any suggestions for videos in the future or themes for meal prep videos. And I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!